I don't know why. And let's look at terminate. Oh, that's the beginning of it. Boom, turns the rocket boosters on. Throws the thing and explodes the entire planet. What the fuck? This guy is nuts. That's actually insane. What's going on, guys? It is sorry that I had to go on a sad note on the update video. If you haven't seen the update video, I just mentioned in the end of the video is that I'm having a bunch of issues. If I would suggest you guys watch that video, the ending of it, sorry. You don't have to watch the whole video, but if you watch the ending of it, I'm having issues with Nox. I can't play the game on Nox. I do not want to download the game. I do not want to download any other, I do not want to download any other emulator because they cause issues on my computer. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I can't keep making content for this game if I can't play it on the Nox. So any information that you guys might have to pretty much erasing, I think it's because I was on the test server. If you guys have any information on that, I would really appreciate it. How to maybe get a different version of the game or erase like my account or something on the game, I really would appreciate it. I hate to keep harping on this, but it's been days now, days that I've had this issue, and I really need some help, and I'm gonna have to cry out to the community for it. But outside of that, we're gonna talk here about HASPIEL. I'm gonna try to keep it positive, trying to get the energy back, man, because it's been a rough couple of days. I really love this game, but it just seems really hard for me to play it and things of that nature. So yeah, let's go talk about this guy. Let's see if he's good. Remember, he is let me see, he is technically the bonus unit in the new Advent dungeon. So if you want to get that 6 awakened essences for using HASPIEL for the day, and then obviously, like I explained in the update video, I did all the math for you guys on how much you would pretty much get depending on if you have them or don't have them, or if you refresh each time. I did a little math. It's not as much as we'd obviously like, but you know, it is something. And I did mention that, not that I want a billion awakened essences, it still should be somewhat of a grind, but at the same time, you know, I know some people are upset about it, but it doesn't look to be that bad in comparison to what we get. Plus, you're gonna summon for this guy anyway. But is he actually worth it as an individual character? That is what we're here to decide. So let's look at the skills, and it looks like we got, check out HASPIEL skills. So increases fire. So now he is the Tarkus of fire, which is great because he's the Emperor's Children kind of guy. And if you guys are wondering why I'm not doing this, again, I'm not doing this in the game because I can't. Ooh, it's so frustrating. Inflicts damage equal to 100 and so single target. Then at level 3 to 6, it becomes an ignore defense to one target, which is pretty good. Single target ignore defense is phenomenal. I would wish to check if that's as strong as Cynthia's, because I mean, Cynthia's has the crit aspect to it, but having a single target ignore defense is making me scream. Multi-strike counter attack, but we'll see what else he has. The S2 also has a multiple levels to it, so it looks like it's a cone attack, and it has a chance to apply ignition for 300%. Its ignition is starting to sound like the bomb. It's sounding like it's the bomb. And then at the, once you get it to, where is that, level 6, final level, so this is the, I guess the coup de grace, it turns into an AoE attack with a 90% chance to apply ignition to everyone. So looking like that might be the thing, but then again, you missed the ignore defense on the S1. I don't know. And the S3 is called Terminate, which is a sick ass name. Inflicts damage equal to 140 to all. So if you level up the S2 and then the S3, you have 2 AoE attacks, which would be pretty crazy. And this also will apply ignition. So at base level, when you first get him, S3 has the ignition, AoE ignition, S2 has a cone ignition. All right, so this one also has 3 levels to it. So you get it to the second level, which is at level 3, and then it actually gets penetration. And then at the last one, it is, what is this difference here? Well, 2-7, maybe it's this big jump in attack. 90% is still the same. 3 turns from 2 is pretty high. Hopefully they'll explain what ignition is. That'd be great. All attacks become, let's check out his passive. Let me say what I'm talking about. You know, let me not be rude. All attacks become critical strikes when attacking enemies with ignition. So that's all they're saying, I guess ignition is. It's just that if they have ignition on them. So this thing is a 2-turn. We have to actually see in game, or at least I'll check in game. All right, I'm looking at it on my phone. I can't bring it up on the screen, but Ignition is a damage over time, takes damage each turn, affected hero's element defense, and damage increase and damage decrease. Statuses do not apply. So it is a damage over time for, as we see here, 2 turns to 3 turns, and for him specifically, he will critical strike on those targets. So it really makes it seem like you should probably maybe focus on the S2, because then if you get the S2, then you'll have 2 things that give it the AoE ignition. If he counter or multi strikes on those targets, then he'll get, you know, critical strikes. And let's see also here, it says 100% chance to reset the caster's S3 cooldown, and 80% chance to apply ignition equal to 300% of attack to the enemy for 3 turns when an enemy revives. So he is here to destroy he's here to destroy if the revive comps. That's only when they revive. So obviously if you're thinking about, we're gonna think about, let's say PvP, there's a lot of characters that do have revives. Still a lot of resolves though. Resolves aren't deaths, they're not reviving characters. Rue, Etika is still being used. You know, Ramu, Sid is gonna revive. He's gonna instantaneously get his S3, and he has a chance to put 80% on each enemy. So it doesn't matter if the reviver, it's not just the reviver, but each enemy might get inflicted with ignition. Then we have his 60, the investment passive, as I like to call it. He cannot be revive unavailable, so you can, you know, he will have a safe revive. He doesn't have a revive, but he has a safe revive, so you will always be able to revive this character. That is amazing if you really think about it. So it doesn't matter, he doesn't need a resolve. I mean, you could put resolve rune set on him, but he can always come back, and that actually is pretty good to know. He also has something, he says applies enhanced life for 500%. Doesn't say of what, to the caster at the start of the wave. So maybe I can look in the game, it might have a better explanation to that. All right, oh wait, let me see. Greatly increases max HP. It should have just said that on the thing. So he has 500% increased max HP at the start of the wave for 5 turns. Okay. That's nuts. So that's insane actually. So he's very tanky, but it's only at the start of the wave, so it would be crazy if he revives and gets that, but he's very hard to kill at the start of the wave. He can't be revived unavailable. If he is your leader, as you guys, I've told you guys about being a leader, so he's actually an amazing leader to make sure that you get this passive off. He also helps out with the damage over time with all your characters with the burst, because he does, you know, he doesn't have burn, which a lot of them synergize off of, but he has his own little buff. It would be interesting if this, I would need to test this just because of the way that it's written about ignition. It doesn't say in the ignition debuff when you read it that that's actually how it works, so I'm just assuming that all attacks, again, this is wording, they should say all attacks, or all of the caster's attacks will critical strike with enemies with ignition. I'm just not, I'm pretty sure it's just him, but you could misread it as, you know, all attacks, that anyone attacking a target like that. It's kind of like weakness revealed. Let me check out weakness reveal and see what it says. I know weakness reveal works like that. Yeah, see, weakness reveal says critical strike guaranteed. So I'm going to assume, I know some of you guys are like, duh, it works like that, but you never know. You never know. You always got to think ahead of the game, baby. So yes, it's probably most likely just his attacks. Very likely. I'm pretty much like 90% sure that's probably how it works. So yeah, so he pretty much will critical strike, but he needs to use his S2 and S3. Then he'll have 2 turns and possibly 3 turns when you level up, when you get these skill ups, to actually harass and fully kill out these characters. But that is his only mechanic as far as getting stuff. So could you run crit damage on him? He does, like I said, he does have critical strike in his kit, so he can technically do that. You know, you could technically get around with that. I'm just curious as to exactly how healthy this is. Could you actually make him like a super tank, like just super, he's an attacker, but he has the ability to actually sit there and tank, and you can always revive him. I do think that is somewhat cool. I definitely think that's cool. You can always revive him. He's always available to be revived, you know. And if we look at him, he looks like a Dark Souls character. He definitely looks like a Dark Souls character. I don't know why. And let's look at Terminate. Oh, yeah, that's the beginning of it. Boom, turns the rocket boosters on, throws the thing, and explodes the entire planet. What the fuck? This guy is nuts. That's actually insane. That's insane. That is insane. Just the fact that he could actually do that is insane. Woo! That's nuts. The only character to show that they can blow up a planet, yes. Even though a lot of them have stuff that look pretty crazy, like Eston's ult looks pretty crazy, he actually showcases that he throws his power at a planet and it hit. And it's funny because it does hit all. I mean, it should, because he left the planet, shot the planet exploded. So that would be pretty stupid as a single target nuke. So he's pretty cool. I actually like him. I think that he's a really cool character. The revive unavailable thing is pretty cool. He's a fire attacker, and it does suck when you look at that because there's no real wind dungeon where he can shine. It would be interesting, like there's no real other dungeon revive unavailable. I guess, like, oh yeah, why did I say there's only one? There's Kali and Sid. I keep thinking it's only Sid, so he might be able to do really well in Kali. He can't be revive unavailable by those by the white ghost, right? He critical strikes on them, so he'll nuke them down. He hits the AoE. He technically has 2 AoEs, and even though you won't have this when he jumps, but he does have a cone. This is only a 3-turn cooldown, so that's pretty decent as far as like dealing with the clones in Kali's dungeon. But he still has to burn them, and then he'll do the you know, the crits on them. For Sid, I feel like Sid's dungeon is just too easier without going fire, but you know, like going a full team of fire, and probably not. Most people bring in Christian, some type of AoE nuke, single target nuker to just get it done with, and he absolutely is not that. He is a multi-hitting AoE attacker. That's where he shines, but he at least crits a little bit easier. So there's that. What do you guys think about this character? Do you think that he is the bee's knees, or do you think he is the trash bash? I didn't know what thing around with that, but hey, what do you guys think about him? I'd really love to hear your opinion. Also, sorry about this, talking about this again. If there's any way that you guys know to fix my Nox issue, please leave that in the comment section below as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.